Hey guys, One Man with Shades here, and what I'm going to do today is do a more justified review of Megadimension Neptunia VII, or V2, whatever you want to call it. If I look at it, see, I've been looking back at two of my game reviews that I uploaded. One for Megadimension, one for the beta of Grand Kingdom, made by NISA, I assume. But I could tell that they were easily not enough to suffice. They were not a justified enough review, especially my Megadimension Neptunia review. So I decided to give this game the review it deserves, while keeping some of the aspects of the original review. Also, all of my game reviews have spoilers. If you do not want your game spoiled, turn away now. If you don't mind me spoiling you, feel free to continue on. So let me go over the positives of this series before I give the negatives, and then the overall grade. A good OST, a good general soundtrack, especially these ones. Musokatharsis, Illuminati, Encounter of Destiny, Bloody Venus, to name just name a few. Now, to say that the OST is good doesn't do it justice. It really doesn't. The OST is phenomenal. Even though there are songs I do not like with passion, they are nonetheless impressive and distinct in their own way, in their own right. Encounter of Destiny, for example, when I first heard it, I enjoyed it so much that I got the soundtrack and played the song on repeat countless times. You know a song is really, really good when you desire to play it over and over and over again. Same goes for songs such as Illuminati and Miss of Catharsis. Fuck, when writing a story with a happily ever after ending, this song, Miss of Catharsis, is what I listen to. Music is a vital part of my writing process because it helps me experience emotions unable to be put to words with literal expression. I am a legit audiophile, but also a hardcore sadist and sociopath. So positive feelings are hard to come by. Also, catharsis helps me simulate those happy emotions vicariously. Now, the next incredible aspect was the fact that they just stepped up their gameplay, such as the God of War-esque bosses like the Dark CPUs. This particular aspect is what catapulted the franchise of Hyperdimension Neptunia into the potential to be a AAA title series. Now, AAA titles are what are known as like the top title brands, the top tier of gaming potential, gaming quality. I've never felt that kind of sensation from the other Neptunia games. This game was downright theatrical and inspiring. Of course, I know a positive is that the characters are cute as always. Isn't that what we are here for? The cute characters. Face it, you know you'll love it. Anyone who has seen me play tons of anime games knows that I've seen countless anime and played countless games where none of the girls are cute whatsoever. Operation Abyss and Dark Rose Valkyrie, to name a couple. So you know how much cute girls matter to me. Clear and crisp graphics at 60 frames per second. This is the first of two games that deserves to be considered 60 FPS games in the Neptunia franchise. The other, despite my begrudging hatred for Tamsoft, is obviously Cyberdimension. The series took their basic gameplay and kicked it up several notches. Another good thing, of course, S-Shot and her Omni-Slice. Now, this one's a positive for me in particular because I'm biased towards the white, silver-haired, platinum-haired girls and towards characters who rain meteors down upon their opponent, because it's my favorite special attack of all time. However, in my opinion, reviewers should entirely stick to their opinion on their game reviews. If someone doesn't like my reviews, I'm sure they'll like Red's reviews, or some other YouTuber who does anime game reviews. Another thing I really enjoyed was that there were three major aspects, instead of just one. Holy hell, this was a huge part of making this series a true AAA game. Normally, most Neptunia games focus on single narrative, with singular sets of protagonists and antagonists. However, Neptunia went out of their way to make 3 separate storylines, and magically weaved them together nicely, all pretty and packaged up. Not to mention the pacing was solid, and despite the story taking a supposedly predictable turn, which, by the way, turned the obvious on its own head, they stuffed my general nature of being correct to a fault, put it in a sock, and stuffed it down my throat. What I mean by that is when I first played the game, I had predicted Uzume being the final villain. I'm sure all of you out there thought the same thing once Neptunia found those logs. However, they got its hook, line, and goddamn sinker with the debut of Kurome and ran wild with an unexpected twist and reached for the stars, and they fucking made it. Or, sorry, that was originally supposed to be the word reached for the moon, if you didn't get the reference. Introduction of Gold Third. This part was a brilliant use of the stable, which is a wrestling term for a faction, to build up Gold Third as villains and to make Kurome look like the most dominant, manipulative, and just downright impressive villain in the entire Neptunia storyline so far. Gold Third's presence alone made Kurome look badass as a result, while Afimax was downright impressive as well, none more so than Gold Third. Dagu Man, Dagu Woman. This one has an asterisk to it, because goddamn, the old names I came up with this game were fun. For new blood watching my videos, some of these were Fear the Pegs, and the meme of the game where they literally serve the silver-haired goddess Esha. Another good aspect is fucking Umio, man. He is one of the most entertaining characters of the cast, by far. The character was written brilliantly regardless of the mood or the moments he was in. My good old pal Umio. Voiced in Sosuke Aizen's Japanese voice acting. Umio was a smooth Ike fish, combination of fish and the Ikemen trope. There's a new meme for you, Ike fish. And next is that made this game really entertaining is the very one known as Kurome on Kokuboshi, the ultimate of villains. I'm a badass villain, for not only do I appear in pretty much every game, but I also wreck shit as the deity of sin, says R4. Then Ray Rice says, no, I'm a badass villain. I nearly used all of my power to obliterate Planetoon and possibly all game industry. Kurome says, that's cute, hold my beer. Seriously, what haven't I mentioned about Kurome being a badass villain while also being downright sexy? To give a bit of an indication as to her badassery as a villain, she's essentially a ghost of the original and sealed Uzume from Planetoon. So to start, we must understand that Kurome created the entire situation Uzume has been in from the very start. The Dark CPUs, the apocalypse of the world known as the Zero Dimension. She created all of that. Then in the second arc, she manipulated Gold Third. Not only did she give them power, but also encourage all of Gold Third to brawl with the CPUs. When Gold Third brilliantly squashed the CPUs, they overrode the entire complexion of game industry. She, Kurome, was the center cause of the entire Gold Third arc. Then, in the final arc, she manipulated Afimax to try and end the CPUs. If the CPUs weren't given the next-gen bullshit powers, the CPUs would have been fucked to high hell. Lastly, she functioned as a villain, materializing fully from Uzume and not only revealing herself as the real villain, and not only successfully kidnapping the CPUs and making them fight their sisters after falling from grace, but she almost destroyed Hyperdimension, Zero Dimension, and Heart Dimension all in one by trying to merge them. Freaking merge them with the power of delusion. Not only is she the most impressive villain in Neptunia, she's also one of the most impressive anime villains. Another thing I really enjoy about Megadimension, which I enjoyed about the original Victory game, was bringing back Gerard, for another personal bias of mine. Since she desires not to deal with boring things, she also has a personality attuned to that same mentality, which in turn makes her interesting because her actions are dictated as such. As such, she's crass and rude, and entirely manipulative. The only other villain that could ever really contest the dastardliness of Prelude. Yet as such, she would make an awesome drinking buddy if I ever decided to start drinking alcohol. Next is Supernet. She is super fucking sexy. Next gen CPU upgrades. Yay, cute girls in latex. Awesome. Not to mention all of the outfits fit their personalities perfectly. Samson Horn, what the fuck, Bert? What the fuck? Alright, now that I've, severely marked out for the good things, it's time to, eventually hit the eventual bad things. Now, one of my biggest problems with playing Megadimension is the constant party switching when you go through the second playthrough. Now, it makes sense for it to be in the first game play, the first run of Megadimension, to have party kickouts. But once you hit New Game Plus, it's seriously a bitch to go through, because it constantly kicks out your party for the sake of story convenience, which is severely irritating. It is severely irritating because, quite frankly, if you're already New Game Plus and you have all the characters already in your party, there is no need to remove your characters from the party. There's just no point. Next, we are coming to the Ric Flair glitch. Now, the context to this is in reference to the fact that as part of his wrestling gimmick, Ric Flair would randomly flop over or barely hit, or if he's in a match. Which is why I call the Neptunia girls often randomly falling over from having no HP during their turn to be considered Ric Flairing. Make that an official name. Now, Doggyman. Next is Doggyman and Doggy Woman. Seriously, this was a super what the fuck moment for me. Strange yet memorable, enough to be both positive and negative. Next is the means to get the revival in, or at least that used to be a problem for me. That was one of the original problems I had in my original review for Megadimension. Until I played more of the Nep games, where I realized how easy I got off in Megadimension. Seriously. I'm going to keep this as a thing mentioned because at the time I wrote this, I had just completed the second playthrough. But as of now, thanks to the parody, I am on the 5th view. And quite frankly, the revival ending is one of the easier true endings to try and get. Alright, next are the three particular songs that I didn't like from the OSD. That's Planet's Odyssey, music ceiling of a dream. And transformational neon electric circuit. These were another old gripe that are no longer a gripe. I don't like these songs listed above, but at least they are memorable in comparison to the other games. The biggest probable downside is the incredibly uninspired dungeon layouts. I think this game series' biggest flaw is their damn desire to stick to a limited number of dungeon designs and therein recycling them. While the ones in this game are semi-new, there are a few that made me think that the dungeon design was entirely lazy. It made me chuckle at first, until I realized how much it takes away from the mood of a story. You know which ones I'm talking about, the ones that look like grids. Just regular grids you would see in a CAD design class. Alright, well that's enough of the negatives. We are now at the final verdict. This game elevates everything about the game series. The sad thing is, I feel Cyberdimension will indeed be lowering the standard again. I guess I'll have to wait until the English release to fully determine that. No, considering I know nothing of the script of Cyberdimension as I write this review out. The soundtrack is miles greater. The gameplay is much smoother and intuitive. Not to mention, my love for the Neptunia franchise was increased even further when the series came out. However, there were a few legitimate gripes I had about the gameplay. So instead of giving a Megadimension an S rank, aka over 100%, I should give this one a solid A, roughly 95%. This game is a must-buy if you like anime games, or JRPGs, or just like cute girls doing cute things. You must buy this. Alright, well, now that this review is over, I am one man with shades. I'd like to say, have a nice day. Never stop loving anime. Okay? See you later.